Jaén, a land where boundless hills of olive trees shape landscapes of unparalleled beauty. Silver-crested olive groves rise from age-old roots to provide their bountiful fruit. A symbol of peace and harmony, the foundation of a centuries-old culture, the identity of a people. A vast sea of pale green waves. From this forest emanates our beloved olive oil, liquid gold. It is the offspring of Mother Nature and the labour of men and women linked to this special universe. The olive grove landscapes are silent witnesses to both the past and the future aspirations of the inhabitants. Life in Jaén revolves around olive oil. The cultivation of olives has been present in all Mediterranean civilizations, but its origins are unclear. Experts agree that olive tree growing comes from the domestication of wild olive trees, Olea europea, and traces back to the Neolithic era. Phoenicians, Greeks, Romans and Arabs played an essential role in the expansion of olive cultivation and the culture of olive oil in the Mediterranean basin. In Spain, the focal point of the olive world is Andalusia. Olive groves have experienced a significant boom in the region, even altering the landscapes of the south of the country. In Andalusia, olive groves have historically been concentrated in the province of Jaén, where there are currently more than 66 million olive trees, the largest cultivated forest in Europe. Different cultivation systems exist for olive groves. The traditional, centuries-old system has given rise to robust trees with more than one base. The modern olive grove makes way for a greater density of single-trunk olive trees per hectare, facilitating mechanized harvesting. In hedge-style or super-intensive olive groves, the density is even greater in order for mechanized harvesting to be as competitive as possible. Jaén's sea of olive trees is as extensive as it is varied. Distinct from the rows of olive trees in countryside areas, we find traditional operations in mountain areas, many of them with high inclines. The task of harvesting is even more demanding here. Production costs are high, but the environmental value is considerable. The Cazorla region dazzles us with its 1,000-year-old wild olive trees. Magnificent specimens several meters tall and with a circumference of more than 3 meters. Agile olive pickers are needed to reach their crown. Little by little, organic olive cultivation is occupying more hectares in the fields of Jaén. The aim is to seek the best quality, respecting the environment and naturally conserving or improving the fertility of the land. Research projects in agriculture are allowing olive groves to exist alongside other different crops, thus anchoring the ground by impeding erosion. Improving the physical structure of the ground with organic contributions and maintaining vegetative cover facilitates water seepage and reserve, as well as the intake of nutrients. After all, the ground represents the wealth of the farmer. The flowering process can begin in some varieties of olive in late April, an explosion of life and beauty. The small flowers are white with hints of yellow and form bunches on top of the sprouts from the previous year. A new fruit begins to form when the petals begin to fall, usually in June. There are 262 different varieties of olive trees in the peninsula, but only 24 are considered primary. In Andalusia, 156 varieties have been identified, only 10 of which bear the foremost seal. The most cultivated olive variety in Jaén is the Picual. It represents more than 95% of production. It is also the most prevalent olive variety in Spain. The olive oils of this variety are the healthiest due to their high antioxidant power, their high percentage of monounsaturated fatty acids, and their stability. The oil extracted from the Picual olive is fruity, slightly bitter, and spicy. The royal variety is native to the Sierra de Cazorla, where winters are cold and the trees sink their roots into limestone-rich soil. They grow here alongside the Picual variety, coniferous forests, and the area's abundant plant life. All of this contributes to enriching the aroma and taste of royal olive oil. Other varieties such as Arbequina are also being introduced. This results in a very fluid sweet olive oil with almost no bitter or spicy taste. The Cornezuela variety is a highly valued table olive. It is mostly found scattered amongst other olive plantations. Its name derives from the shape of the fruit, elongated and curved like a horn. It is mainly harvested for direct consumption. A delightful morsel when cracked and seasoned in the traditional style. The harvesting of olives is a delicate task that will affect the quality of the resulting oil. The olive ripening process takes place between October, November and December, according to the variety and the climatological and geological conditions. The harvest season, therefore, usually begins in early autumn and ends in late winter. Table olives can be harvested before, during and after they ripen to obtain different pickledom and preserved products according to the degree of maturity. In the case of olives for olive oil, it is common to harvest them when the skin is reddish or purple on more than half of the fruit. What is known as the end of veraison. Nevertheless, it is becoming more and more common to harvest earlier, collecting green olives before they completely ripen. This leads to high-quality fruity olive oils with a green color and pronounced nuances. These olive oils are from olives harvested early in the season. In the past, olives were harvested using the milking technique. This consisted of collecting the fruit directly from the tree by hand. In this way, neither the fruit nor the tree is damaged. The traditional and more widely used harvesting system still being used today consists of striking the branches of the olive tree with a stick. In this method, the olives fall to the ground onto a net and are quickly collected. In the past, men were usually in charge of striking the tree while the women would gather the olives from the ground or from the cloth and place them in baskets to clean them in screens. After the olives were cleaned, they were put into sacks which were carried by mules or donkeys to the mill. The harvesting system has evolved. A process of modernization has recently come about in which new mechanical and technological solutions are applied. Tools are used which facilitate and streamline the work and aim for the olive to remain intact without damaging the tree. After harvesting the fruit, it is transported to the mill to be promptly ground. This prevents it from piling up in storage areas, causing the olive to ferment and thus threatening the quality of the oil. There are even even brands which opt for nocturnal harvesting to avoid changes in temperature during the process. This ensures that the olive reaches the grinding stage in optimal conditions. In the mill, the fruit is separated from the leaves, branches and soil and then washed. Grinding or milling presses the olives into a paste. The paste is then squeezed to separate the liquid phase from the solid, that is, to extract the oil. In the past, extraction was carried out using pressure. The paste being placed between esparto grass baskets, which were subjected to pressure to extract a liquid mixture of oil and water. This mixture was decanted to obtain the oil. Today, centrifuge systems are generally used, which leave the oil clean and ready for storage quickly and with extensive cleaning and hygiene control. It is then stored in warehouses shielded from light odours and extraneous agents. It is kept at a constant temperature in stainless steel tanks. Shortly before bottling, the oil is filtered to eliminate potential impurities. The oil is bottled in different types of containers. To conserve all of its properties, it is very important to keep it away from heat, direct sunlight and air. We now have our oils and it is time to classify them to determine their quality and provide the proper labelling to the consumer. Chemical and organoleptic analyses are performed to classify olive oils. The chemical analysis indicates the sanitary level of the olives used and the oxidation level of the oil. These parameters do not influence the taste or the smell of the oil. The organoleptic analysis is sensory. It serves to analyze characteristics detectable to the senses, particularly smell and taste, and to determine whether there is any negative attribute in the oil. This is conducted by means of the tasting panel method, in which expert tasters managed by a panel chief analyze individual samples. The olive oil is extra virgin when it is 100% olive juice without defects in stability. That is, it is the finest quality olive oil obtained from olives in perfect condition, conserving all of their aroma, colour and taste. It also has the maximum nutritive and health components. There are 4 types of olive oil classified in our mills. Extra virgin olive oil, EVU. Virgin olive oil. Olive oil composed of refined olive oil plus virgin or extra virgin olive oil. And olive pumice oil composed of refined olive pumice oil plus virgin or extra virgin olive oil. The olive grove and olive oil sector has a significant impact on Spain's economy, society and environment. The data reveal the following. Spain is the world leader in both olive grove surface area and olive oil production. More than 2.5 million hectares of the country are dedicated to this crop. 25% of the world's olive grove surface area. This accounts for producing nearly 50% of the world's olive oil. Spain sells more than 60% of its olive oil production abroad. 80% of Spanish olive oil exports are concentrated in 10 countries: Italy, the USA, France, Portugal, the United Kingdom, China, Japan, Germany, Australia and Brazil. Most of the exports are sent to Italy. Jaén produces more than 20% of the world's olive oil. It is the Spanish province with the largest surface area of olive groves. Jaén also produces more olive oil than the world's second largest producer, Italy. Average olive oil production in recent years stands at around 500,000 tonnes. This region leads the rankings of the world's best olive oils. This is a quality distinctive to Jaén Selección Olive Oils, a seal created by the Provincial Council of Jaén to encourage the promotion, marketing and consumption of olive oils from Jaén, as well as to also inspire producers to create quality oils themselves. There are 8 magnificent ones which are conquering palates around the world. From the largest olive tree forest in the world emanates liquid gold, a key element of our gastronomy. Traditional dishes of the rich Spanish recipe book, such as gazpacho, salmorejo and piperana, have always been prepared with extra virgin olive oil as a main ingredient, packed with aroma and taste. Interest in Evu is growing. The great restaurateurs extol its properties, considering it a valuable product, a pillar of gastronomy essential to the understanding of cooking. Tradition and vanguard surround our star product. Evu offers boundless possibilities. Every oil is a world. If we sample it by tasting, we may discover a broad array of nuance. Aromas that recall freshly cut grass, green almond, apple or tomato, fruity, bitter or sweet tastes. A sensation of smoothness, of spice, and many other attributes constituting an authentic sensory experience. Consuming it raw is the best way to enjoy its qualities and benefits. In its raw form, Evu personalizes the dish and, in many cases, improves the taste of the food. Is there any better way to start a day than with a breakfast of bread and olive oil? It is also the best oil for frying, given that it is the most resistant to high temperatures. The olive grove is more than oil. It generates byproducts that are now a source of wealth rather than waste. Olive tree cultivation and the oil extraction process give rise to products with high energy content known as olive biomass. The leftover products from the pruning of olive trees, the leaves, stones and pomace are utilized for energy generation and fuel. They are also used in the heating of many of our homes. Biomass and compost from olive groves are also used for agricultural land restitution. The valuation of the waste products from olive groves is based on the circular economy, achieving sustainable management and more efficient production. Olive oil has been used as a cosmetic product from time immemorial, particularly for skin and hair care. It was also widely used as a disinfectant and healing agent. The cosmetics industry has not been unconnected to this. Recent technical advances have allowed for the creation of cosmetic products with extra virgin olive oil as a star component. The result is a range of more natural and eco-friendly products that provide skin with the beneficial properties of olive oil. Olive wood is highly valued for its beauty and durability. This activity is performed nowadays by a group of artisans who continue the tradition of this craft. While it is difficult to work with, the hands of master artisans are able to create glossy finishes with a silky feel and great durability. Olive wood has a high density and low porosity. The absorption of liquids and flavors is therefore almost null, and it has antibacterial properties, perfect for use in the kitchen. It is very common to find household goods as well as furniture and decorative items made with olive wood. The olive grove is much more than agriculture. It is a diverse source of activity, especially for the development of rural areas. Olive oil is a natural and healthy product. Its health benefits are proven and are mainly due to its high content of monounsaturated fatty acids and its antioxidant components. This makes it a protector of cardiovascular health that regulates hypertension, improves digestive function, and prevents osteoporosis, among other things. It helps to reduce cholesterol and prevent diabetes and cancer. The pre-dime scientific study confirms that the Mediterranean diet supplemented with extra virgin olive oil is capable of reducing the risk of heart attack, stroke and cardiovascular death by 30%. EVU is the healthiest fat. This main exponent of the Mediterranean diet can help us to lead a healthier life without surrendering taste. The olive grove is the hallmark of Jaén. The cultivation of the olive tree has shaped the landscape, culture and way of life of the region. It is living, universal heritage, a source of wealth. The olive tree as an artistic icon in Jaén is an exhibit of the preeminence of this tree and its influence in all areas. It has been praised by Miguel Hernández and Antonio Machado and universalized by the painter Rafael Zabaleta. Representations of the olive tree in Jaén have become a recurring motif among contemporary artists. The festivals and traditions illustrate everything that revolves around the olive grove and olive oil. Various municipalities pay tribute to olive pickers and celebrate the beginning or end of the season. Particularly noteworthy is the Fiesta del Primer Aceite, which at the provincial level celebrates the arrival of the first oils in the month of November. It is a gathering that moves around the region of Jaén every year, later travelling to other provinces in Spain. Tourism of experiences linked to the world of olive oil and olive groves has given rise to a new term, olive oil tourism. It is a new category of inland tourism that spreads the culture related to the world of olive groves. It is a way to enjoy gastronomy, typical architecture, landscapes and nature. Museums and cultural centres allow you to discover the olive oil production process. Become an olive harvester for a day and learn to taste the liquid gold. Or you can travel the olive oil green route, which runs along an old train line that transported olive oil to the port of Malaga. It is a tour through the olive-blanketed countryside of the provinces of Jaén and Córdoba. From here, at certain times of year, you can take in spectacular views. The arrival of waterbirds to lakes surrounded by olive groves, like the colonies of flamingos that pass through here on their migratory journey and take flight over the sea of olive trees, casting an image of tremendous beauty. The olive tree, the first of all of the trees, a symbol of longevity, resistance and renewal. There are few trees so universal and virtuous. Its cultivation has characterized the way of life and culture of many peoples. Men and women have dedicated their lives to this noble tree, learning to care for this natural source of wealth. Our olive oils are the result of a passion, of respect for the produce of the soil and the countryside, of love for the product. They are the result of years of experience, tradition and constant innovation. A tireless labour towards one goal, for the tasting of an extra virgin olive oil to be a unique and unforgettable experience. An ocean of olive trees covers the region of Jaén, forming unique landscapes of great heritage value. From a bird's eye view, it is like an immense chessboard imbued in green. Jaén, where the land is a tapestry of olive trees, gold is savoured and time appears to stand still. Jaén, a sea of olive trees, a kingdom of olive oil.